Hey folks, welcome back for another build video. This time around we're going to take advantage of the Pestilence, as I have been ignoring it for far too long. It's a great talent with a great name, Plague of the Outcasts. For anyone who's been living under a rock, or more likely new to the game, with Plague of the Outcasts, hits apply a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds, and this stacks up to 50 times. So the key words there are weapon damage. So the higher you get your overall base weapon damage, the higher the damage of this debuff. So this is an LMG build, so we're absolutely going to make use of the gunner specialization, the incessant 10% armor on kill talent, and the coupler every third reload is 50% faster talents are quite useful, and the supply line regeneration of 10% of your total ammo every 60 seconds doesn't hurt either. For our primary weapon we have the Pestilence, as we just waxed poetically about. For a secondary, I've gone with the Baker's Dozen. The classic M1A variant is a good secondary here, so you can hit from afar. It also does a lot of damage up close if you need it. You could also go with a shotgun here, but I've used my skills as kind of my close quarter weapon. We'll get into that a little bit later. And for our sidearm, I've gone with the TDI Card Custom, specifically for that +1 skill tier. If you need to buff either of your skills momentarily, you can always swap to the sidearm here and get that buff. For our mask, we have our first of two pieces of Walker, Harris & Co. First one here gives us +5% weapon damage. For the attribute slots there, we have critical hit damage and critical hit chance, and then critical hit chance in the mod slot. For our backpack, we have our second piece of Walker, Harris & Co. And then additionally, we have critical hit damage, and then armor regen because we couldn't reroll both in our attribute slots, and then some more critical hit chance there. For our talent, we have Vigilance, which increases total weapon damage by 25%. You'll see the common theme here is trying to get the base weapon damage as high as possible. Given that you're going to be hunkering down and firing your light machine gun from afar, Vigilance should be active the majority of the time, but if you do take damage, it'll only be disabled for 4 seconds. For our chest piece, we have the Sacrifice, which is the named Providence Defense chest piece. Probably know it and love it at this point. We've got critical hit damage and critical hit chance, as well as critical hit chance in the mod slot. That is common throughout. Specifically trying to get that critical hit chance as close to 60% as possible, and then as much critical hit damage as we can pile on top of that. For the talent, we have the Perfect Glass Cannon, which, again, amplifies all damage you deal by 30%. And obviously you have the reverse side of that of taking 60% more damage, but given that you are, again, firing from afar, not normally getting hit, you can afford to take this debuff. For our gloves, we have Contractor's Gloves. Petrov Defense Group plus 10% LMG damage is quite nice, but we're also looking for that 8% damage to armor, which does increase the damage that our Plague of the Outcast debuff does. And then we also have critical hit damage rolled here. For our holster, we have Picaro's holster, specifically to get an armor core while still maintaining our weapon cores number. The Brazos the Arquebus 10% skill haste is mostly wasted, though it will help our turret later on. And then last but not least, we have Sawyer's knee pads, specifically for the stand your ground talent and the total weapon damage increase that it provides. We've done the math here before. 3% every second up to 10 seconds gives you an extra 30% weapon damage, which again feeds very nicely into the Plague of the Outcasts talent, which is really the primary focus here. Get our weapon damage as high as possible so that we can apply maximum possible damage with these debuff stacks. For our talents here, we've gone with the hunker down and stay away mentality. So my thought here is you are going to be behind cover the majority of the time, firing from afar with your light machine gun at mid to long range targets. So the skills here are meant to provide you a coverable position. That's why I've got the Stinger Hive on here. In case an enemy does sneak up on you, they can be chased away by the Stinger Hive charges. And then we've got the assault turret here to aid in your mid to long range firing, as well as providing another target for any enemy that does sneak up on you. These are certainly things you could modify as some of the trap variants come to mind, given that you're not going to be moving around a lot. This is much more of a stationary build, and it does work well in a group, but you can make it run solo, specifically for things like control points where you have a defensible position to start from. With that all being said, give this one a try. Let me know what you think. Like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.